Thank you for tuning in to the Grid Center. I'm your host Shane Falco, along with my special guest host Snarf626, as he is currently unavailable, and he has offered to reveal himself at the end of the show. Little D is taking the night off, so I have my friend Disco here. And
flopping ass Disco.
Yeah, he actually, it looks like Clee stole one of his moves in the championship game, but we'll get into that later. Anyway, many people have guessed for a better part of 2 seasons the identity of Snarf. I finally called him out on the forum, got him to come forward, and he agreed to come out. I have to admit, I've actually known the identity for quite some time, and I was sworn to secrecy, so I held up my end of the bargain. There have been many suspects throughout this time. Some of them I'll put up on screen for you. First was the commish, one James Burgoyne, as you can see here in this picture. Followed by another candidate was Steven Johnson from Sick With It, shown here in his Tar Heels uniform. Then we also had Travis, part-time staff member from the Weekend Warriors. He was a candidate as well. And then we also had the infamous Tommy D, who's known for about 17 different screen names, and his sexual persuasion or preferences are in question by this photo. However, none of those happen to be the infamous Snarf. I let some people know who it was, and I have to admit that I told a nice lie that some people actually believed for quite some time. And even going into tonight, when I said that I was going to tape this show, when I texted James and I told him who I thought it was, and he told me he fucking knew it. Well, you're in for a surprise, sir. So let's go ahead and break down the conference championships, as that's what this episode is all about. From the Pac-12 all the way up to the SEC. Starting in the Pac-12, I had Bursa going against Air Raid, Kamish's Aaron's team. A lot of people thought that they might pull this game off. I talked about before the game that their quarterback Matt, who happened to be the Pac-12 MVP, had to play a certain way, and that he did not do. And Bursa brought out the Dave Chappelle comedy team with whiteface and blackface painted, and the D-line pretty much dominated the game as they forced Matt into making some bad interceptions, and Bursa ran away with the game. Mr. Snarf, did you happen to catch any of this game?
Nah, I usually just stick to A-League, and I heard it was a blowout, so I'm glad I missed that game.
Yeah, it was pretty one-sided. It was pretty ugly. This took place before the Open Championship, and what can I say? Sherm had his sandbags in full effect there as they got the blowout win. It really was never in doubt. The only bad part about this game was later on in the day, Bursa, unable to protect their own trophy, had their own little guy knocked off during another game as they left it standing on the sideline.
Stupid motherfuckers. Right.
I don't know if it was the whiteface or the blackface to blame. I couldn't tell you, so I don't know if to blame the white guy or the black guy. Anyway, it's confusing. So there's not really much else to say about that game. It was pretty much one-sided. So congrats to Bursa for winning the Pac-12 championship, and they'll be taking on the SEC champion, who will be, and many of you already know who the winner is, but I'll cover that when I actually get to that game. Next up was the Open Championship, where the Fighting Irish was looking to take out Any Given Sunday. Any Given Sunday did not bring their best effort, as many of their players were on DX, who had to play their own championship game right after that game, so some of them did not want to play hard or play at all. The highlight of the game, I think, had to be one Disco with his little hands, as you can see here. His little hands dropped a touchdown thrown in the end zone. And that really pretty much changed the game after that, as the Irish really took control. Mr. Snarf, did you happen to see any of this game?
I watched that game. I seen you doing your thing with them fat boys. they know they could turn it on if they played their real positions, though. But I see them out there having fun.
Yeah. The Mad Dogs linemen definitely were giving it all, and as we'll talk about later, it looks like they really warmed themselves up well. Anyway, not much to say. Fighting Irish, congratulations. A lot of their players are on GBA who did not make their conference championship, so this was kind of a second chance for them. For me personally, playing on any given Sunday, it was a lot of fun. We just kind of went out and had some fun, messing around a little bit. It wasn't really all that serious. Like I knew some of the DX guys were not going to give their all or not want to play, so we didn't really do some things that we probably would have done differently. But it was all for fun. So anyway, nobody really wants to talk about that game either, I'm sure. Next game of the day happened to be the SEC Championship, and I'm sure my special guest host Snarf will have some input on that game, as you know, he's been a hater on DX for a long time. And what is your outlook on the game? As I know you happen to be out there watching that game.
It was a good game. It was a good game. A little sloppy by TMT. I was really hoping they'd pull it out because I can't stand hearing them DX motherfuckers talking about how good they are, and they're not that good. I just can't say it. I can't say they're good.
Yeah, it's hard to they didn't play very particularly sharp on offense. I know this little guy here was
flopping ass
disco was not happy with his performance. It was another very close game, just like the spring came down to the end. The DX defense really showed some improvement there, stepping up, making some plays.
Oh, lucked out. That ball bounced into his hands. He wasn't in position for nothing. He lucked out.
I don't want to touch that one, but the interception, yes, was lucky. His claim was that he was in position to make a play, and he just happened to get the ball, but he was looking more to stop to pull the flags. You know, we'll leave that one alone. I mean, you know, O finally got some glory. So
Perk make that catch. O's just in the poster. That's all.
Yeah, and Little Perk too. He dropped a touchdown.
Man,
it was definitely different to see TMT in this role where they were getting themselves penalties. They kind of let the refs beat them a little bit. A lot of drop balls, a lot of mistakes, a lot of missed flags. This was not the TMT that people normally see, especially in a championship game. I know some of them were talking after the game about how guys want to show up late and whatnot. Obviously now with DX winning back-to-back, and as you say, hold that thought. All right, well, I'm back. As Gridiron Studios is falling down around me here. Where was I on the game there, Sir Snarf?
I done lost my train of thought. This place falling down around me.
Yeah, well, I got to do what I do the best I can with what I have. What can I say? You know, Little D put some of it together, so with that kind of commitment from Little D, you know what's bound to happen.
You mentioned DX lucky ass ships.
Yeah, they got some lucky ships. They caught some breaks. What can you say? They've done it against TMT though, so no one can knock that. So congrats to them. It's very fun to watch these two teams play. Two contrasting styles of play, and to see them go back and forth and be in such a close game, it's really fun to watch. Always a pleasure to watch these two teams play. Always going to get good quality games. A lot of good players on the field. I have to say, we had an over-unders on the ticker and everything before this game, and Mr. Jordan Goodrich was called out, and he made a couple of really key plays on that D-line. So apparently, the talks of him getting benched and whatnot really motivated him because he made a couple of nice plays.
He alright for a white boy. He alright.
Yeah, Polar Bear. Some people have called him soft, but he held his own. So I got to give him a lot of credit, especially since he's on staff.
It was a damn good game to watch. It was a good game to watch. I just wish Clee could have shut them motherfuckers up. I really do.
Well, he gave it. I mean, he gave it his all. And a little perk comes down with that pass down the sideline. It might be it's a whole different game. You know, who knows? Then they kill themselves a lot of penalties to let DX run a lot of time off. But hats off to DX. And last time TMT lost, they really came out, played real hard in the next season. So we might see, maybe we'll see some changes. They really never changed their roster, so maybe they'll make some adjustments. Who knows? But either way, it's good to see those two teams in it. Clearly the two best teams in the SEC. In your opinion, one very lucky and then one very good. But you know, what can you do? Moving on. The game after that was a much hyped game with a lot of talk. Two teams have been talking since about week 3, I think from 2 seasons ago about this game. And that was Dynasty versus the Mad Dogs in the Big Ten Championship. And this game did not go according to form for what some people thought would happen. Did you happen to catch any of this game? I know it's not A-League, but two teams talking about moving to the A-League, so maybe you watched. I'm not sure.
I got some boys on Dynasty. I was rooting for them. It really seemed like they got in Rocket's head. He didn't seem like he had the game that he wanted to have or thought he could have. He couldn't handle the rush.
Yeah, it was definitely true. The Mad Dogs D-line definitely made a lot of plays. One of the keys to the game leading up to it was the O and D-line play with the Mad Dogs. The Mad Dogs O-line did a pretty good job. Early, Dynasty was really into it.
Early Worm was getting in that ass.
He was.
I don't know if it was on Leon or that nigga looked like Professor Clump. I don't know, 26. I don't know which one it was on, but Worm was getting in that ass.
Yeah, that Worm was definitely into it early. He was definitely fired up. Randall looked like he was shot out of a cannon every time he got off the ball.
Hey, he was putting in work. He just couldn't get them damn flags.
Yeah, he missed some flags. It was a very good battle to watch, him and Diesel going at it. They both had their moments. Randall just missed a few flags. It would have had some sacks. But he was definitely fired up. So you can't argue in it. That was a great matchup. You couldn't really argue watching those two go at it. I could watch that again and again. Big-ass Leon made the play of the game.
Man.
Mark was in all kinds of trouble, didn't know what to do. Half was about to run out. Made a pitch backward. And somehow Leon rumbles to steal Chris Berman's line, rumbling, bumbling, stumbling all the way down to the goal line before he hit the truck stick.
Man.
And ran that Dynasty dude over and got in the end zone. And that really changed the game.
That fool still laying on the field.
Yeah, we had to actually move the last game of the day to the other field to accommodate because we couldn't move the guy. But hey, that was a big play by Leon. Definitely changed the whole momentum of the game. He doesn't make that play. Dynasty takes the lead in the half, and I think they feel a lot better about it. That really started to cause a lot of fighting on the sidelines between Dynasty. And when you get a bunch of young guys like that fighting, a lot of bad things happen, despite how much talent they have.
That's the problem with young cats. They let their emotions get into it, and then they can't focus on the game.
Yeah, these young guys, I don't know what to say. There was a lot of talk leading up to the game about why Rocket should have been MVP, and then some people started saying Rocket shouldn't have been MVP. Randall was the MVP. I think all parties involved, including Rocket, would say that he did not play like an MVP in that game.
Most definitely not.
Again, hats off to the Mad Dogs D-line. They really put in some work. They really kept them under pressure, frustrated them a lot, made him throw some balls up that he shouldn't have made, and they capitalized.
They learned a lot from that first game.
Yes, they sure did. They did not have Diesel playing safety this time. I think that was probably a big factor.
Or Mark's sorry ass.
Right. Well, Mark's got 2 championships under his belt, so what can we say about that?
I can't believe they let that motherfucker... Oh, my God.